Ever stop to wonder about the seismic shift that occurs when you simply vanish? Not a gradual fade, not a gentle pullback, but a complete and utter disappearance from someone's life. I'm talking radio silence. No texts, no calls, no social media breadcrumbs, nothing. What impact does that void create, especially in today's world where so many take consistent attention for granted? Let's flip the script, disrupt the dynamic, and witness their carefully constructed world begin to crumble. Today, we're talking about the potent reality of a world shattering. If you've ever been in a situation where you were treating you as an option, today's video is for you. In it, we will go over the emotional stages that other people face in the event that you disappear from their lives. The stages we will go over will ensure that you'll never allow yourself to be treated as an option in anyone's life ever again. And if this is your goal, consider reading ahead. This is what it's like to disappear from other people's lives. This power move can be a major game changer. This isn't about inflicting pain, but it's about reclaiming your sense of value and making your presence truly appreciated rather than passively expected. It's about setting a boundary so sharp that it forces a powerful internal reckoning. If you're ready to unlock the power that's inside you, then this is the video for you. Stick around, follow me, and let's dive in. If you want them to miss you like never before, then the rest of the content is for you. Let's get to that point where others recognize your worth. Do you consider yourself valuable? If the answer is yes, then comment down below with the words, "I'm done being an option." "I'm done being an option" can change what life is all about. To make sure that life happens this way, follow along with the rest of the article. And as a bonus, you'll definitely not want to miss the 10th key factor. Let's see what comes in today's content. It all begins with the sting of rejection. This is something that's hard to swallow because they never expected you to vanish. It all starts here. They were too comfortable with the relationship and expected you to be available whenever they came around. What they didn't imagine is that you were going to vanish from their lives. That's right. They were playing with the wrong person. And if they were not in the wrong in the first place, they wouldn't let you get out of their lives. In the mind of those who are wrong, you're always available. You show up on time, plan everything, and are careful with the details. Therefore, their thought is always, they will always be there. But if they're going to get that perspective, you'll have to change it by disappearing from their lives. To get the thought of, "I'm always going to be available to them," you have to hit them with a brick. By vanishing, you hit them unexpectedly. As a famous quote says, "You never know what you have until it's gone." That's what today's content is all about. By eliminating yourself from their lives, you are pulling everything out of them: comfort, self-validation, and more. Also, they will be rejected because you're not playing the expected role. You will be rejecting them, which creates a void that wasn't expected. It's something deep inside that's going to make them remember you. If they took you for granted, then they will now regret that decision. When people get too secure, they start losing control. What they don't realize is that what made them get there was effort. Effort has to be a continuous task, not something that's only available at the beginning. The sting of rejection hits harder when you're emotionally close. That's because they expected you to be available in every possible way. The thing is, if they don't value and respect what you have to offer, there's always another person that will. Stop giving so much to people that don't value you for who you are. Let them take that as a lesson, because life gets tough, and when those moments appear, they won't have your shoulder to rely on. The thing here is this: if you want the sting of rejection to be noticed, you can't give any signals. You can't let them prepare for what's coming. If you're not happy, you can't make it that notable that you want to get out, because they will try to change the strategy to please you. You have to be bold and take the steps to say goodbye without prior notice. Let them know that their time is over and that you're not willing to get their disrespect. You can't expect to change their mindset, but you can apply those values and principles to another people that's going to truly value who you are. If you're not respected, then don't turn around. And that's the first stage. In this moment, they will understand what life's all about and how it values their actions with a painful consequence: rejection. To treat you like an option is not part of life. Life is all about those who make the effort to be beside you and make a change for you, because they understand that every second is a life lesson. After the pain that was inflicted from rejection, Now, it's the moment of feeling what's all about losing someone valuable. The second lesson is going to be more about self-discovery, and that's key to having a life you want. After you inflict the rejection, it's the moment to go to the void of missing you. After the initial pain inflicted by rejection, now is the time to inflict long-term hurt. That's more difficult to avoid than anything. After taking the sting of rejection, it's the time to start feeling emptiness. After realizing what just happened, what comes next is the feeling that was inflicted from the lack of attention from you. They might think that it's something that they will pass through and not give that much importance, but time's going to showcase the real value of what you have to offer. You might get to a moment where you consider going back to what it was because there's love involved, but remember what they made you get through in those situations. They will never understand if you give them the choice to choose. It has to be a permanent decision. The key point here is the following. They have to understand that they were wrong for all the actions they took. You might be considered a part of their life as anyone, but after getting out, it will be a different thing because they will start noticing that you were special and different from other people. You brought new ideas, new moments, and a lot more that will start being noticed. With you, everything will feel right. That is the power that others have inside that has to be valued and is what they're going to start missing, and is also why what will come next is more and better than what's on the back. That's the hard truth. The world is full of more opportunities and people that have better things to offer than just outer pleasure. The more you keep it real and respect, you get more opportunities to make yourself value and be valued. In the initial moments, they might start searching for your approval with other people. The void, curiosity, and self-reflection. That will be their main goal, to find someone that takes what you had to offer and what you had to say. They're going to keep in mind everything that you said. Now, without you, everything becomes superficial. Without you, they're not able to create meaningful moments. Those who can give you a quick solution are nothing near those with who you can rely on. When that void appears, what do you have to do? Now is the time to get out. Block them in social media, erase their numbers, and make sure that they don't have access to what you do in your life. The more you make yourself hard to find, the more they will see that they will never get to that situation with anyone else. The lesson here is to make yourself hard to find so that they see how valuable you are and what you're doing to find true happiness. Make yourself happy. If you get the lesson and start making yourself happy, then people will recognize that and will value you. Remember that you are unique and, therefore, there's no one like you, and that must be valued. If there's no appreciation, turn around. It has to be natural. If you don't feel right, then don't force it. By getting out of the way, that sensation that you are unique is what they're going to start missing, and is also why getting out of their lives is so tough. By not being an option, you're going to close doors that you don't ever have to get through again. So, let all that void and the things that come with it start the suffering. With pain, new teachings come, and that can't be stolen. Remember, those who don't respect us are not people that add value to our lives. So the most sensible decision is to get away. And this is when overwhelming curiosity appears. The goal for them now is to know what they are doing, because what was valuable is no longer constant. They will start creating a lot of questions of what they're doing with their lives. At this stage, curiosity will make them think of the wrong decisions they made, and is also what's going to have to change to stop those wrongdoings to the right ones. For this, a key aspect is being bold, because if you hesitate, it won't become easier. Don't fear. Those who take the correct decisions are also those who act accordingly with determination. Those that are decisive can lead a pack. With so much ease to interact and find out what others do, the world provides the facility of checking what others want you to know. What is really tough is finding out that you want to be hidden from them, and now they have no idea of who you are and what you are doing. That's the greatest power move, because no one can know what you are doing, making them fear that they will never know. Human beings hate being uncertain of everything, and curiosity is the perfect trigger to want to know what to do next. If they did good, what did wrong? So what if you give zero signal of your life? To solve that, now is the time to start investing in your life and create those values that weren't allowed in the previous relationship. Curiosity is also what allows you to build the new steps in your life. You will not be depending on what's going on, and that freedom is what's going to make you more worthy and attract those with similar values. They will create tons of questions, and because they will probably never get to you, those questions won't have an answer, and that drives the curiosity of what you're doing. The unknown is the main trigger, and you have that power. Let silence be the answer to their questions. And now we're entering the dangerous territory for them. That is, this is where the deep self-reflection kicks in, and it's not pretty. Now that they have spent a lot of time trying to figure out what you're doing, the next step is to start blaming themselves. In this step, they will create tons of questions. They will probably wonder if they mess things up and blame themselves for their own actions. Now, they have to figure things out because now everything has to depend on what they have to say. Without you, things don't make sense for them anymore. Now, there's no emotional support or any kind of help. It's all on them. The urge to pursue and the battle of emotions. And that's the main lesson, to understand that you are on your own and that you have to create your way. For the most part, human beings don't like admitting those mistakes. But what happens when you have to do that to improve? This is a perfect occasion to do that, but if they don't take it that way, then that will create even more distance because they will remain in the same position and you're getting further. In this occasion, their worst enemy is going to be themselves. They're going to keep asking themselves questions. Was I wrong? Was it me? Their only choice is to live with those thoughts and to try to solve the questions of what they were able to fix. They now start facing what they created. This stage is very powerful because it's in the inside. They can't blame you anymore because you have probably left. The only person to blame is themselves. And what can be done from here? They might wish to get back and improve what there was, but they can't now because you have probably blocked any possible route to contact you again. A lot of thoughts are going to be created in the event that you were wrong for taking the choice of saying goodbye. The most important aspect is that they get that all by themselves. It will only work if you're not present at all. Self-reflection works on the inside and is very useful when done the correct way. There's also the possibility that guilt appears. What can be done with that emotion? It has to be part of the lesson to be learned. This may be very hurtful, but remember that it's worth it because your happiness comes first. The next aspect will be the urge to contact and show back into your life. Now that they have understood how things work, they will want you back. It's very typical that they want back what was working after everything is solved. But you don't have to allow that. Now that their self-esteem is back to the top, they are ready to do what they did to reach you. It's the perfect opportunity to close the doors to those people, because at those moments you understand what those people have to offer and if those characteristics match the type of people you want in your life. They will probably show the top version of themselves. But remember what those people made you get through and their behavior. Now is when you have the power of deciding what you want and who you want. This is what it's like. After what they have been through, now they will get to another perspective in which they will think about what's best for them, leaving what's best for you as secondhand. This is what's going to test you about what you expect for people that were never able to deliver your expectations. If you have what it takes to never look back, they will start blaming themselves for all the decisions they made. At this point, you need to ignore and keep moving. When those bad thoughts appear, remember why you're where you are, what those people did to you, and all that you have to improve to reach a more happy state. Don't give them the pleasure to show up when they want. You must be the prize. Let them contact, but don't answer. Silence will be the key to keep your emotions clear. For you, they will represent a bad memory. You don't have to go back to what you have already passed. After that, the battle between relief and regret appears. What can be said about that? The point is this. At the beginning, they will feel relief. This is a key part because at that moment they will say, well, I'm finally over. And that's a big lie. What they're about to face is the contrary. So after the self-blaming, they might be feeling that they have more to offer than you, which is a mistake because that's probably nothing that has any true foundation to it. Remember that the beginning might be hurtful, but what comes later is more and better. Because this decision has to prevail, they're going to keep trying to get the attention back, but what happens is the exact opposite. The best advice is to stay on your track and to never turn back to that. The relief is like tasting salt water when thirsty. It feels like joy, but the truth is that it's worst. You get back to the quick solutions, but they won't last, creating emptiness in your heart. It's not so easy to substitute someone that gave you more than a quick solution. So the best lesson to all of that, the best lesson is to let them experience that supposed freedom, because after a while the emptiness will start showing itself again. Now is when the playing starts. The goal is to make you act so that they can reach their approval. This is done with jealousy. They post statuses, photos with other people, doing a lot of stuff to make themselves noted and for you to start wondering, hey, what are they doing? Well, if you find yourself doing that, don't. Let what those people do. They will now live separate realities, and whatever is happening has nothing to do with you. They don't want the good for you. Remember that. So you need to act according to your own good. And what to do? Take the high road. The next level, and something that will drive them mad, is when you are now unreachable for their approval. You are in another level. They are in the past. You are in the future. The game will finish when you are free. So don't engage. Now what to do? Just ignore. It will drive them nuts to not be able to engage your attention. They are probably missing your emotional stability. It's time to end them for what's already done. As you get yourself out of the way, you set the foundations to show up again. To be remembered is greater than being present. By not playing and just ignoring, they understand that their power on you has ended. And now that you understand what the true power lies on, silence. By just shutting up the mouth and stop being related to that person, the suffering is not to be told. It has to be felt. The lack of your words is what will cause a bigger pain than anything. If you were available for any possibility of being in touch with them, you are now a closed possibility. They know it, but they will fear that they are nothing, and that's what we want them to know. Their worst nightmare is to disappear forever from your mind. The fear of that might give them an intense shock. We are so used to instant responses, so when we have to deal with the contrary, all the worst might come through. So let silence be your true weapon. What they deserve is nothing. And after what was done, then congratulations. They have awakened the greatest fear for the most important thing, you. Now they know, and now they regret for not realizing before. Silence is what will torture them the most, and there's no way of skipping that suffering. By shutting down the doors, a new opportunity opens up, and you free yourself of an anchor that didn't let you move on. As we head to the end, then now it's when the biggest fear is seen. What's like to be free from that anchor? After knowing all of that, now there's only one thought. What if they realize? What if they don't care? Let silence speak. It will answer all the questions they're going to have. Those bad actions will have to come to the surface and will be judged. With that comes a huge opportunity, the fear of having been forgotten. Fear is not to be messed with. It has to be true and from the heart. And for the last bonus, they will understand the true meaning of emotional independence, that you're going to have a life without them, and that you are completely fine with all of that. As that is true, it radiates, and that will drive them nuts to not be able to access that power. So what's the essence of all of this? What can be used from this journey? To be grateful for recognizing your own worth. The actions that are taken here are the start of something powerful, but we will dig even deeper. So keep improving. The final boss to fight has been seen, and now is when the action truly begins. The fear that they will show will be priceless, and will also be the recognition for all that effort. In your next steps, be true to those principles and emotions. As Seneca said, the one who is brave is free. You have what it takes to improve. You need to keep walking. If people show goodness, that's awesome. You have made a good decision and you're on the right path. But if you don't ever turn back again. I want to thank you for your attention and participation during this amazing journey. You now know what to do to take the power and make your presence shine. Remember to apply every detail you've learned and to never stop improving as an individual. Always remember, if you are with yourself, with the correct values, no one can use you as an option. I know you will be successful, but first, you need to trust what comes next.